There's a moth in here, so if you see him at any point, his name is Jarvis, and he's my roommate for the time being, so ignore that. But anyway, so I didn't have any better ideas to make for a video, so I'm gonna show off some of the other swords I've got. All right, so yeah, that's the idea I got here. So first off, all right, the Cutlass. You've seen it, you know it, you love it. This is the one I go pirating with, privateering every now and then, all right, sailing the high seas, hijacking the spices, you know, going after the Spanish Armada, all with this thing. Some people say, oh, just use the blunderbuss, all right, just use the cannons, all right, or maybe, stop living in the 1500s, all right, but, a classic, a true classic. Uh, Boy, I tell you, I single-handedly brought down a whole Spanish armada with this sucker. I tell you what, I got this. I went off on an adventure into Hispaniola. I found the Fountain of Youth. Turns out, it's not that great, but it's just a spa. But anyway, it's a classic. It's a real one. I got the paper here. Can show you how sharp it is. Well, let me try that again, alright? And hold the... It is sharp. I did the test on another video. It is. If I can get the paper right here. You're gonna have to take my word for it. I did it before. It was sharp. Maybe a... Okay, there we go. I got that on camera, right? I don't care. Anyway, that's the Cutlass. It works. It's good. It's swell. Alright. You can get back in there. Alright. It's a classic. A true classic. Alright. Put that over there. Oh, gosh. Next up on the roster. Alright. This one. Alright. Every now and then, I need a break from the seafaring life. I go to land. I go off on mad adventures with, like, elves and dwarves and wizards and shit. I got this one, alright? The Enchanted Blade, alright? The Magical Blade of Heroes, alright? So it says here, for the power of the god and goddess. And you might be thinking, isn't goddess misspelled? It's got two D's in it. That's just what the deep state wants you to think. Gotta be more woke than that. So, this one, it's also sharp, I think. Maybe. We're gonna find out. Well, I think that was just my hand doing it. I guess the paper here is a little bit more durable than orcs and goblins. I tell you, I was cleaving through those orcs with this thing. Just freaking, just going at it. I'm definitely a trained swordsman. Clearly, as you could tell by my epic skills there. Can't even... Okay, well, maybe... All the bones of my enemies have dulled the blade. That's what I'll go with. Enchanted Blade of Blades. It does plus 10 points blunt damage. Alright. And get that to stay there. There we go. Next up, alright. And you knew this one was coming, alright? You knew it was coming. Alright, what kind of basement dwelling weirdy would I be if I didn't have a katana? This one, alright. This one's special, alright. I got this one after I defeated the Redditor in single combat, alright. I attained his katana that he used, his weeb katana, alright. I don't know how sharp it is. I was slaying cardboard boxes with this in the basement for a while, so we're gonna... Not very. That Redditor didn't keep this thing very sharp. No wonder I bested him in single combat. Yeah, that was just my finger doing that. Well, maybe I'm just not that great at it, administering the paper test. I don't think you can be bad at it, but that's this one. Yeah, not very sharp. that Redditor didn't keep it in good condition, clearly. Alright, next up on my roster, alright, I can get that off of here without scratching the desk. Oh, I don't know if you can see him. There's Jarvis, the moth. Yeah, he's going. Alright, anyway, so this sword, this is a very bizarre looking sword. They call it a flail in some circles. You do some of this action. I don't want to do it too much. I don't have that much faith in the chain here. It's you can tell the chain is kind of just butted. So one of these chains comes undone and I'm swinging it around. Whatever this ball hits will cease to be. And I'd rather it not be me or the phone. You know, maybe it goes out the window and hits someone else. That's fine, just not me. I need to use this head. We're gonna see how it does on the paper test. I don't want to hit my hand either. Well, what do you know? It's not very sharp. Who would have thunk it? I gotta wonder about the practicality of these things in combat anyway. This was taken off of the Orc Warlord that I slew in single combat with that other sword, the Orc General. I took this off of him. I gotta question its usefulness in combat. You gotta swing it around a bunch of times, and then you gotta hit the person, and then you hit them, and it does some kind of damage, and then you gotta start swinging it and build up the momentum again. Maybe it works. I guess it worked for that Orc General or Goblin or whatever I said a minute ago. So there's that. Next up, alright. Now this one I got from that Spanish. We're gonna roll with it. A Spanish Armada, alright. You never heard of the Spanish before? They're like they're from a sunken kingdom that I went to that one time when I was taking the that bridge that goes underneath the English Channel from England to France, you know, the tunnel one. I was going on that and I took a detour and ended up in a sunken kingdom, and that's where I got this from. And I tried to sharpen it. I don't know if you can tell. Didn't do a great job. It's not very sharp. The Spanish didn't know how to sharpen their stuff, I guess. As you can tell. Won't even the end won't even go through it. Yeah, I can try this end. Oh, that did it. That one went in. I guess if you're going into combat, you use this one. So, someone should have told the Spanish that. Next one. Alright. This one. Let me think here. Let me come up with some bullshit. So this one, right, I got this one I had this in a past life when I was a Viking king, alright? I used this to raid the coastlines, alright, from Sweden all the way down the coastline through Denmark and France and Britain and Spawnland and fucking Italy and Carthage, or well, I guess that Carthage wasn't around then, but you know, whatever the other one is I'm thinking of, Byzantium. See, I thought of it eventually, but so that one's sharp. Clearly, you know, you gotta, if you're gonna be going a Viking, going a raiding on the coastline, you gotta have a good solid weapon. It's got writing. I haven't translated it. I think it's Younger Futhark. I haven't translated it, but yeah. So that one. What else we got here? I think that's this one. All right, this one's an authentic Aztec sacrificial thing. Tens of thousands of people have been slain by this atop the Chichen Itza. Well, that's Mayan. They borrowed it from the Aztecs that one time. You know, the guy, the high priest, he accidentally dropped it and it chipped to the end and he was in a bit of a pickle. It was a holiday, all right? So he had a cousin over there and over over in the Aztec kingdom. So he sent his cousin over there. His cousin sent him this real quick. He got it just in time so he could sacrifice all those people to anoint the Chichen Itza back in the whenever 900s AD. So, yeah, definitely that's where it came from. As you can see, this guy, he's a person in there, and sometimes you can hear him talking to you. All right, yeah, he said hi. I'm not gonna repeat that. It's inappropriate. You're not allowed to say that on camera. All right. Some people clearly, you'd think being 1100 years old, I guess you kind of get a little grouchy over the years. So, next up on my roster, all right, this one's one of the good ones, all right. So, in I was going downtown. I was walking down the street, and suddenly you wouldn't believe it, like 100 ninjas showed up, all right, and they started doing ninja stuff. And I was in a bit of a pickle, right? So I didn't have any of these other weapons here. So I had to think quick, all right? I extended my hand to the heavens. I raised it up, and I was blessed with a frying pan that was thrown at me by some old lady through a window who told me to shut up. And that's how I got this weapon, all right? As you can see, it's got a few dents in here. Those dents were made by the skulls of my fallen enemies, slain in combat by the great frying pan warrior. Take a swig here. It takes a lot of effort coming up with all this on point here. A ginger ale from balls. Next up on my roster, all right? This one's good. A pen. This is the most overpowered weapon I have. As we all know, the pen is mightier than the sword, all right? I've slain millions in combat with this thing. I step onto the battlefield, whole armies, tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people are marching towards me. I show up, I whip this sucker out, they're all gone, running for the fields. I turn it like this, flattens the whole valley, all right? That mountain over there, not a mountain anymore. Now it's a crater because I turned the pen this way slightly. And God's help us all if I ever decide to click the pen. I almost did it. We'd all be in trouble then. This is a legendary weapon. Only a true legend can wield this tool, this epic weapon, granted by higher beings beyond comprehension, interdimensional beings granted this sacred weapon, divine destroyer of worlds, they call it, unpronounceable in its original language. So yeah, that's kind of what I have here. I don't know what else I got. Here's a pocket knife I keep, well used, opening boxes mostly. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I got more stuff than this. I just wanted to show that off. I wanted to, look cool. Wonder if it worked or not. Depends on if you believe any of the stuff I just said there. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what I could think up with on the spot. So, yeah.